Right now, I want you to notice something. The world outside is noisy, chaotic, full of demands, distractions, and doubts. But inside your mind, there is a space where everything is possible, a space where you can become unstoppable. And the key, the very key, is the way you think. Most people underestimate this. They think success is about talent, luck, or timing. But the truth is, it's about the way your mind shapes your reality every single day. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and feeling different. Feeling strong, confident, unshakable. Not because anything outside has changed, but because your mind has. Because you've learned to see the world differently, to react differently, to act like a winner even before the first challenge hits you. You can get there. Right now, in this very moment, you can start the transformation. Think about your thoughts. The words you say to yourself silently, the assumptions you make without noticing, the doubts you carry around like heavy weights. What if I told you that every single one of these thoughts is either helping you or hurting you? That your inner dialogue is literally shaping your destiny? Winners understand this. They choose their thoughts. They reject the ones that weaken them and cultivate the ones that empower them. Visualize your mind as a vast garden. Every thought you allow to grow is a seed. Some seeds grow into weeds, spreading doubt, fear, hesitation, and regret. Other seeds blossom into flowers, bursting with energy, confidence, and clarity. If you neglect your garden, weeds take over. But if you tend to it carefully, with attention and intention, you create a landscape of power and possibility. Now, take a moment and notice the seeds you've been planting. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? This is not a judgment. It's an observation. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Once you see the patterns, you gain the power to change them. You can start replacing doubt with determination, fear with courage, hesitation with action. You can train your mind to seek solutions, not problems. To look for opportunities, not obstacles. To imagine a life of victory, not limitation. Consider the way winners approach failure. Most people fear it, avoid it, or let it destroy their confidence. But winners, they understand that failure is not an enemy. It is a teacher. Every mistake, every setback, every moment that seems like defeat carries a lesson. It carries information about what doesn't work, what can be improved, what you must change. When you begin to see failure this way, life shifts. Challenges stop being threats. They become stepping stones. Every obstacle becomes a chance to grow, to strengthen your resolve, to sharpen your mind. Think about an athlete training for years, every day pushing against pain, exhaustion, and doubt. They rise early when the world sleeps. They train when their body aches. They run when their legs are heavy. And why? Not just for the medal or the trophy. They do it because they understand something fundamental. The body follows the mind. The mind is the leader. The thoughts you cultivate dictate the actions you take, and the actions you take build the reality you live in. Now imagine yourself standing at the starting line of your own life, whatever that looks like. Maybe it's a career goal, a personal dream, or simply becoming the best version of yourself. Feel the tension in your chest, the doubts whispering that it's too late, too hard, too impossible. And now imagine taking a deep breath, standing taller, and saying to yourself, I can, I will, I am ready. This small shift in your inner dialogue, it is the doorway to transformation. Every day, winners practice this consciously. They speak to themselves in strength, clarity, and possibility. They visualize the outcomes they want as if they are already happening. They repeat affirmations, not as empty words, but as truths that slowly anchor themselves into the subconscious mind. And you can do this too. Every time you notice a negative thought, gently replace it. Every time fear rises, greet it and choose courage instead. Every time doubt appears, remind yourself that your mind is a tool and you are the master of it. Think about the power of repetition. The human mind craves patterns and it absorbs what is repeated. When you constantly expose your mind to thoughts of strength, resilience, and success, you begin to rewire your mental pathways. Your brain begins to anticipate victory instead of defeat. You begin to respond to challenges automatically with confidence instead of fear. This is how habits of the mind are formed. And the beautiful part is, it doesn't take talent. It doesn't take luck. It takes practice. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who dreamed of running marathons. He was not fast. He was not naturally gifted. Every attempt seemed painful, every mile a struggle. But he refused to quit. Every day, he told himself, I can do this. I am getting stronger. Every step counts. He visualized crossing the finish line before he even laced up his shoes. Years later, he did not just finish a marathon. He won his age group. And when asked how he did it, he said it was never about the body. It was always about the mind. The constant discipline of shaping his thoughts, believing in himself, refusing to surrender to doubt. That was the secret. You can borrow that power. You can step into that space where your thoughts become allies, where your mind becomes a fortress instead of a battlefield. Begin by noticing the first thought of your day. Are you telling yourself you are not ready? Replace it with, I am ready. I am capable. I will conquer today. Throughout the day, catch every thought that drains you, every thought that weakens you, and consciously choose differently. And remember, this is not instant. This is not magic. This is a process. But like any skill, mastery comes with repetition. And each day you practice, your mind grows stronger, your confidence deepens, your ability to navigate challenges becomes effortless. Imagine looking back a year from now and seeing a person who is calm, unstoppable, confident, and resilient. That person is you, but only if you start today. Finally, take a moment and visualize yourself standing at the top of a mountain. The wind brushes against your face. The sun warms your skin. You look down at the path you climbed, steep, rocky, uncertain, and you realize something. Every step, every choice, every thought you had along the way led you here. This is the power of the mind. This is the power of choosing to think like a winner. Repeat this to yourself now. I control my mind. I choose my thoughts. I am a winner. Every challenge is an opportunity. Every setback is a lesson. I am training my mind daily. I am unstoppable. Let these words settle into your consciousness. Feel them as a force, as a rhythm, as a presence inside you. This is the first step. This is the beginning of your transformation. From this moment onward, the way you think will begin to shape the way you live. The battlefield of life is vast, but your mind is your strongest weapon. Wield it wisely, and step into the life you were meant to live. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves crash relentlessly, the wind sweeps across your face, and the horizon stretches endlessly ahead. This ocean, it is your life. And the way you navigate it is determined by how you steer your mind. Some people drift helplessly, tossed by circumstances, by doubts, by fears. Others, the ones who think like winners, they take control of the rudder. They harness the wind. They move with intention, strength, and clarity. And this is exactly what you are learning to do. It starts with vision. Winners see their lives not as a series of random events, but as a canvas, waiting for them to paint. They visualize the person they want to become, the life they want to live, and then they act as if that reality is already happening. Take a deep breath and imagine your ideal life. Not in vague terms, see it in detail. Imagine the sights, the sounds, the feelings, the energy. Feel yourself moving through this life with confidence, decisiveness, and strength. Hold this image. This is your mental blueprint. Every thought, every action, every choice now will either align with this vision or pull you away from it. But vision alone is not enough. Many people dream, but few act. Winners know this. They combine vision with relentless action. And the first step of action is mastery over your inner dialogue. Notice the thoughts that come uninvited, those whispers of doubt, fear, and hesitation. They are inevitable, but they are not commands. You can acknowledge them without obeying them. Say to yourself, thank you for the warning, but I choose strength. I choose action. I am moving forward. Every time you do this, you strengthen your mental muscles, and you condition yourself to respond to challenges differently. Think about the power of small, consistent actions. Imagine dropping a single stone into a calm lake. One stone creates a ripple. Now imagine dropping a stone every day, at the same place, at the same time. Over months, the ripples converge, they build waves, they move the water in ways that seem impossible at first. Your actions are like those stones. Each choice, each thought, each effort may seem insignificant, but over time, they accumulate, shaping the life you experience. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman who wanted to write a book. She had no experience, no platform, no certainty she could succeed. Every day, she committed to writing just 300 words. 300 words seemed small, almost trivial. But she repeated this every morning for a year. Day after day, week after week, she built momentum. And by the end of the year, she had not just written a book. She had created a manuscript that would change her life, her career, and her confidence. The lesson is clear: consistent, purposeful action wins. It is the bridge between dreams and reality. Now, consider the obstacles that may arise. Life is unpredictable. People will doubt you. Circumstances will challenge you. Your own mind may betray you with moments of fear or procrastination. Winners anticipate this. They don't let external chaos dictate their inner calm. They develop mental resilience. And resilience is not something mystical. It is a skill built through practice. Every time you encounter difficulty and choose to act anyway, you grow stronger. Every time you feel fear and step forward, you train your mind to expand, to stretch beyond its current limits. Let's explore a simple, practical exercise. Close your eyes and visualize a challenge you face. See it clearly. Now imagine yourself approaching this challenge with total calm, total focus, and total confidence. Watch yourself navigate it step by step, using strategy, creativity, and courage. Imagine the relief, the pride, the sense of accomplishment when it is resolved. Your brain cannot fully distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is experienced. When you rehearse success in your mind, you condition yourself to perform successfully in reality. This is not imagination alone. It is mental preparation, training your mind to expect victory. Another principle winners live by is the power of perspective. Most people let circumstances define their reality. If something goes wrong, they feel defeated. If someone criticizes them, they feel inadequate. Winners, however, understand that perspective shapes experience more than circumstances ever could. Imagine you are holding a pair of binoculars. If you focus on obstacles, the world appears daunting, endless, intimidating. But if you adjust your focus to possibilities, solutions, strengths, and opportunities, the same world transforms. You begin to see pathways, options, and moments of advantage that were invisible before. Your mind becomes your lens, and by changing the lens, you change your entire life experience. Let's take another story to illustrate this. A young entrepreneur lost his first business. He could have given up, blaming the economy, bad timing, or bad luck. But instead, he asked one simple question: what did I learn? He analyzed every mistake, every misstep, and used it as a blueprint for his next venture. That second business grew beyond his wildest expectations. The difference wasn't external. It was entirely internal, a shift in mindset, a commitment to see obstacles as lessons, failure as information, and every challenge as fuel for growth. Now, take a deep breath and think about your own life. Identify one area where you feel stuck, limited, or uncertain. Picture it clearly. Now, ask yourself, what opportunity exists here that I am not seeing? Imagine approaching this situation as a winner would, strategically, confidently, and with determination. See yourself taking the steps needed to transform it. Feel the energy, the momentum, the sense of forward motion. This is how winners live. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait for others to give permission. They step into action every day, fueled by clarity, vision, and unwavering belief. A critical element of thinking like a winner is surrounding yourself with reinforcement. Your mind is influenced by what you see, hear, and experience. Winners carefully curate this environment. They spend time with people who challenge them positively, who inspire, who model excellence. They consume information that empowers rather than drains. They consciously feed their mind with ideas, stories, and experiences that elevate. Imagine yourself as a gardener again. The weeds are negative influences, unhelpful comparisons, toxic voices. The flowers are mentors, books, experiences, and affirmations that grow your potential. Tend to this garden daily. Protect it. Nourish it. Finally, let's anchor this with an affirmation to internalize the principles of this part. Say it slowly, deliberately, and feel it resonate through every fiber of your being. I am the captain of my mind. I navigate challenges with clarity and strength. I take consistent action toward my vision. Every obstacle teaches me. Every step moves me closer to victory. I think like a winner, and I live like a winner. As you absorb this, Visualize yourself walking along a path of your own creation. The sun is rising. The light touches every surface, illuminating possibilities. You are moving forward with confidence, determination, and focus. The journey is not easy. It is not meant to be. But with every thought you master, every action you take, every challenge you embrace, you are becoming unstoppable. You are not just imagining success. You are cultivating it, moment by moment, choice by choice. Take a deep breath and feel it. Feel the power of your own mind, the potential that has always been within you. Winners are not born, they are trained. They are cultivated through discipline, awareness, resilience, and vision. And today, right now, you are beginning that training. You are stepping into a reality where your thoughts are your allies, your actions are purposeful, and your life is being shaped by the mind of a winner. Repeat it once more. I control my mind. I take action. I embrace challenges. I learn from failure. I see opportunities where others see obstacles. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. Hold that feeling. Carry it forward. Your transformation has already begun. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a vast mountain range stretching before you. The peaks are sharp, jagged, challenging. Some are shrouded in mist, others gleaming in sunlight. This mountain range is your life. Every peak represents a challenge, a goal, a dream, or a fear. And the path you take is determined entirely by your mind. Will you see the mountains as obstacles that block your way? Or will you see them as opportunities to climb higher, to grow stronger, to see farther than you ever thought possible? Winners see the mountains not as threats, but as invitations. They understand that the climb is the transformation, that the struggle is part of the journey, and that the view from the top is only earned by persistence, focus, and courage. Now, take a deep breath and feel yourself at the base of the first mountain. The terrain looks rough. The climb seems daunting, and you might feel doubt creeping in, the same doubt that has held others back in the past. But here is the truth. Every challenge, no matter how intimidating, begins with a single step. The question is, will you take that step? Will you choose action over hesitation? Will you choose belief over fear? Winners take that step again and again until the path ahead becomes clear. Let's talk about fear. Fear is not your enemy. It is a signal, a warning, a guidepost showing you where growth is waiting. Most people run from fear, letting it dictate their choices, limiting their potential, shrinking their vision. Winners, however, embrace fear. They see it as a signpost pointing to the very areas that will define their strength, resilience, and courage. Next time you feel fear rising, acknowledge it, name it, and then move forward anyway. The mind will follow the body, and courage will grow. Imagine a tightrope stretched across a chasm. Below, the depths seem endless. The wind blows fiercely. Most people would freeze, imagining every possible fall, imagining failure in vivid detail. A winner, however, focuses on the line ahead. They place one foot carefully, then the next. They trust their balance, their preparation, their focus. Step by step, they move across the impossible until the other side is within reach. This is not luck. This is mental mastery. This is the power of attention, focus, and unwavering belief in your capability. Consider the story of a young violinist. She dreamed of performing on the world's greatest stages, but early on, she struggled. Her hands trembled, her notes faltered, her confidence wavered. She could have quit, but instead, she chose a different path. Every day, she practiced with intention. Every mistake became a lesson. Every failure was a step closer to mastery. Years later, she performed in front of thousands, each note precise, every movement confident. She did not become a master overnight. She became a master by cultivating the right mindset, by embracing struggle, and by refusing to surrender to doubt. That same power exists inside you. Now, bring your focus inward. Notice the self-limiting beliefs you carry, the stories you tell yourself that hold you back. Perhaps you say, I am not talented enough, or I am too late, or I will never reach my goals. These are not truths. They are narratives, patterns you have absorbed over time. And the remarkable thing is, you can rewrite them. Winners rewrite these stories daily. They consciously replace I can't with I will, I am unprepared with I am learning, and I am not enough with I am capable and growing. Each repetition, Each conscious choice reshapes the mind, strengthens the inner foundation, and aligns actions with vision. Let's practice a visualization. Close your eyes and see yourself in a situation you've been avoiding, a challenge that has seemed impossible. Picture yourself approaching it with calm, clarity, and focus. See the steps you take. Feel the confidence in your body, the strength in your mind. Hear the words you speak, the tone of your voice, the decisions you make. Imagine the outcome: successful, powerful, rewarding. Your brain will start accepting this as a blueprint. Every time you mentally rehearse success, you strengthen the neural pathways that make actual success possible. Winners understand this. They don't leave victory to chance. They build it in the mind first. Another secret of winners is their relationship with time. Most people are trapped by deadlines, distracted by urgency, and overwhelmed by tasks. Winners, however, master time by controlling their focus. They treat every moment as valuable, every decision as intentional, and every action as aligned with their goals. Imagine your day as a river. Most people drift aimlessly, letting the current carry them wherever it goes. Winners navigate with precision, steering with intention, making choices that direct the flow toward their ultimate destination. Time becomes an ally, not an enemy. Think about resilience, the ability to bounce back stronger after setbacks. This is a trait cultivated, not inherited. Every time you face disappointment and choose to continue, every time you encounter failure and decide to learn, every time you endure difficulty and remain committed, you are strengthening your mental resilience. Imagine it like steel being forged. Fire, pressure, and repetition shape the raw material into something unbreakable. Your mind works the same way. Every challenge is a forge, every struggle a hammer, every victory proof of the strength you are cultivating. Let's revisit action. Winners don't wait for motivation. They create it through action. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is permanent. Action generates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. Picture a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small and fragile. But with every turn, every roll, it grows larger, faster, unstoppable. Your actions are that snowball. The more consistent, intentional, and aligned your actions, the greater the momentum toward your vision. No step is too small if it is purposeful. Finally, let's anchor all of this with affirmation and mental rehearsal. Speak these words slowly and feel them deeply. I embrace challenges. I take deliberate action. I visualize success. I harness fear as fuel. Every day, I grow stronger. Every choice I make aligns with my vision. I think like a winner. I act like a winner. I live like a winner. Visualize the mountain range again. Now imagine yourself halfway up. The climb is still difficult, but the top is visible. You can see it. You feel the power in your legs, the steadiness in your mind, the clarity in your focus. Every step forward is proof that you are capable. Every decision to persist is a testament to your transformation. And as you continue upward, the landscape below begins to change. You begin seeing opportunities where others see obstacles, solutions where others see problems, and possibilities where others see limits. This is the mind of a winner in action. Feel it. Hold it. Carry it with you into the rest of your day, your week, your life. You are not the same person who started this journey. You are evolving, growing, strengthening, mastering the most powerful tool you have, the mind. And the climb continues. The mountains are not gone. The challenges remain. But now, you face them with clarity, confidence, and unwavering belief. Repeat it once more. I control my mind. I choose action. I embrace challenges. I learn from failure. I see opportunity in every difficulty. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. Imagine a quiet room, sunlight filtering gently through the window, and the world outside moving in fast motion. In that stillness, you realize something profound. Your mind is your most powerful tool, and the way you use it shapes everything you experience. Most people drift through life, reacting to circumstances, letting emotions dictate actions, and surrendering to distraction. Winners, however, cultivate focus. They understand that every thought, every decision, and every moment of attention determines their trajectory. And the good news is, focus is not a gift you are born with. It is a skill you can master. Take a deep breath and feel your awareness sharpen. Notice the thoughts bouncing around in your mind, the the worries, the to-do lists, the judgments, the comparisons. Now imagine gathering them like leaves scattered in the wind. You do not fight them. You simply collect them, and you decide which ones serve you and which ones you release. This is the essence of mental discipline. This is the foundation of thinking like a winner. Winners understand the principle of mental energy. Your attention is finite, your focus limited, but when concentrated, it is unstoppable. Imagine a magnifying glass focusing sunlight onto a single point. The energy of the sun, diffused, is gentle, harmless. But concentrated, it can ignite, it can transform, it can create fire. Your thoughts are like that sunlight. When focused, aligned, and purposeful, they can ignite action, transformation, and success. But scattered, they burn little and achieve even less. The choice is yours: scatter or focus, drift or dominate. Consider the story of a sculptor. Before the masterpiece emerges, the marble block seems ordinary, even unremarkable. Many would see only stone. The sculptor, however, sees potential. They focus on small, deliberate actions, chisel strike after chisel strike, refining, shaping, removing what is unnecessary. Over time, a magnificent sculpture emerges, one that reflects vision, patience, and mastery. Your mind works the same way. Every focused effort, every deliberate thought, every conscious choice chips away at limitation, revealing the masterpiece within. Focus also requires clarity. Winners know exactly what they want and why they want it. Vague goals produce vague results. Imagine trying to navigate a ship across a vast ocean without a destination. It is easy to drift off course, lost to the currents and the winds. But when the destination is clear, every adjustment, every maneuver, every choice aligns with the end goal. Clarity creates power. Clarity creates confidence. And clarity allows the mind to filter distractions, noise, and irrelevant thoughts. Now, picture your most important goals. Not the ones others expect from you. Not the ones that sound impressive or safe. Your deepest, most authentic goals. Hold them in your mind. See them clearly. Feel the excitement, the fulfillment, and the pride that comes from achieving them. Let that feeling anchor you. Winners tap into this emotional energy. They do not pursue goals with cold calculation alone. They infuse every action with feeling, with purpose, with vision. Emotion magnifies focus and sustains effort when the journey is long. Another element of thinking like a winner is the cultivation of resilience through reflection. Life will test you. Obstacles will appear. Plans will fail. But winners know that every setback carries insight. They take time to reflect, not as an indulgence, but as a tool. Each reflection is a mirror, showing what worked, what didn't, and what can be improved. Imagine sitting by a calm lake, watching the water reflect your image. The clarity of the reflection comes not from rushing, but from stillness. In that stillness, you see the truth, and from that truth, you gain strength. Think of a story about a mountain climber. On one expedition, a sudden storm forced the team to retreat. Many gave up, seeing the attempt as failure. One climber paused, studied the storm, evaluated the route, and then adjusted the plan. The next day, with renewed strategy and focus, they reached the summit. The difference was not physical skill alone. It was reflection, analysis, and mental clarity that turned challenge into victory. Focus is also built through deliberate habit. Winners do not rely on fleeting bursts of motivation. Motivation is unreliable, shifting like the weather. Habit, however, creates structure, consistency, and automatic action. Imagine a river carving a canyon through stone over centuries. Each drop of water seems insignificant, yet cumulatively, it shapes landscapes. Your daily mental habits function the same way. Visualization, journaling, affirmations, meditation, and planning are all tiny drops that, over time, create unstoppable mental power. Now, I want you to visualize a day in your life with perfect focus. From the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep, every thought, every decision, every action is aligned with your goals and your vision. Distractions are present but noticed and released. Challenges arise but are met with calm and strategy. Time flows efficiently, energy is harnessed, and progress is constant. This is not an imaginary utopia. It is achievable when focus is cultivated and mental energy is directed deliberately. Consider the importance of resilience in thought as well. Even with focus and clarity, doubts and fears will surface. You might hear the whisper of, "I'm not ready," or "I can't do this," or "I've failed too many times." Winners do not ignore these whispers. They confront them, acknowledge them, and then override them with intention. Imagine a small, persistent fire of doubt. Now imagine a stream of water, deliberate and constant, extinguishing that fire. That stream is your conscious choice, your awareness, your mental discipline. The fire does not vanish instantly, but with consistency, control is established, and the fire loses its power. Let me give you another story. There was a chess player who struggled to win against stronger opponents. Early losses were humiliating, painful, and frustrating. But instead of quitting, they reflected on every move, analyzed patterns, and practiced deliberately. Over time, their focus sharpened. They anticipated strategies before they were executed, controlled the board with precision, and eventually dominated competitions that once seemed impossible. The lesson is clear. Focus, reflection, and deliberate practice convert struggle into mastery. Finally, let's anchor all of this with affirmation and visualization. Speak these words slowly, letting each one resonate. I cultivate focus. I direct my mental energy with purpose. I reflect, I learn, I grow. Every day, my habits strengthen my mind. I see my goals clearly and act consistently. Challenges refine me. Doubts do not control me. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. Visualize yourself again, standing at the edge of a vast cliff overlooking the valleys below. The wind brushes your face. You feel grounded, strong, aware, and purposeful. Every thought is sharp, every decision intentional, every action aligned with your vision. The world may be chaotic, but your mind is calm, focused, and commanding. This is the power of mental discipline. This is the essence of thinking like a winner. Carry this energy with you. Let it guide your decisions, shape your actions, and influence every moment. Your mind is no longer a passive observer. It is an active architect, constructing the life you desire with precision, clarity, and relentless focus. Repeat once more. I cultivate focus. I direct my mental energy. I reflect, I learn, I grow. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. Close your eyes for a moment and bring your awareness inward. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat, the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe, the sensations in your body. Everything you feel is valid, but not everything you think needs to control your actions. Most people let emotions dictate choices. Anger, fear, doubt, or frustration become rulers over decisions, actions, and even life direction. Winners, however, have learned the art of emotional mastery. They experience their emotions fully but do not allow them to derail their purpose. They respond rather than react. They observe rather than surrender. Imagine standing in the eye of a storm. The wind whips around you. The rain lashes against your face. Chaos rages in every direction. Most would panic, seek shelter, or flee. A winner, however, stands calm in the center, grounded, aware. The storm exists, but it does not control them. This is emotional mastery. It is the ability to feel fully without losing your power. It is the ability to choose your response, even when every impulse tells you otherwise. Now, think about a moment in your own life when emotion took control. Perhaps you acted too quickly in anger. Perhaps fear kept you from speaking up, from pursuing an opportunity, from taking a risk. Winners learn from these moments. They examine their emotional patterns, understand the triggers, and build strategies to maintain control. This does not mean suppressing feelings. It means harnessing them. Emotions, when directed consciously, can become fuel, not a chain. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur. She faced repeated setbacks in her startup. Investors turned her down. Partners questioned her ideas. Employees made mistakes. She could have been consumed by frustration and self-doubt. But instead, she paused. She reflected on her emotions, acknowledged the pain, and chose to act with clarity and focus. Each challenge became data. Each setback became strategy. And eventually, her business flourished beyond what she had imagined. The difference was not luck. It was the mastery of her inner world, the conscious direction of emotion into deliberate action. Now, take a deep breath and feel your own power. Notice that your emotions are signals, not chains. Fear tells you where growth awaits. Anger highlights injustice or misalignment. Frustration shows where patience or strategy is required. Winners interpret these signals rather than surrendering to them. They convert them into insight, into energy, into momentum. Imagine emotion as electricity. Uncontrolled, it shocks and harms. Controlled, it powers your actions, lights your path, and energizes your growth. Decision-making is another pillar of thinking like a winner. Most people delay, doubt, and overthink. They seek perfect conditions that never arrive. Winners, however, understand that clarity comes through action, not hesitation. Every decision is an opportunity to strengthen confidence, to refine judgment, to assert control over life. Even mistakes are valuable. They teach, guide, and shape resilience. Imagine standing at a crossroads. Each path has risks. Each choice has uncertainty. The winner steps forward deliberately, trusting the mind and training gained through reflection, focus, and self-mastery. Every step, even if imperfect, builds momentum, builds courage, and builds confidence. Think about confidence itself. True confidence is not arrogance. It is quiet, unwavering belief in your capacity to navigate challenges, learn from setbacks, and grow through experience. Winners cultivate confidence by accumulating small wins, by repeatedly choosing action over fear, by practicing skills until competence becomes second nature. Confidence is reinforced daily, quietly, consistently, in small, deliberate choices. Imagine a painter learning a complex technique. At first, each stroke feels uncertain, awkward, and flawed. But with repetition, attention, and patience, mastery emerges. Each brushstroke strengthens the painter's skill and belief. Life operates the same way. Every deliberate choice, every controlled response, every mastered emotion strengthens your confidence. And once confidence is solid, fear has less grip, doubt loses its voice, and the mind becomes a powerful ally. Let's practice a simple exercise. Visualize a challenge that has intimidated you. See it clearly. Now, imagine yourself approaching it calmly, making decisions with clarity, acting with courage. Feel the sense of control, the quiet strength in your chest, the steady rhythm of confident steps. Notice how the fear is still present, but it no longer dominates. It is energy to harness, not a force to resist. This visualization builds mental rehearsal. Winners practice their responses mentally long before real-life execution, conditioning the brain to respond with mastery. Consider a story of a mountaineer climbing a dangerous peak. The weather turns unexpectedly, the path becomes treacherous, and doubt threatens to creep in. Many would turn back. He pauses, observes his emotions, reassesses the terrain, and takes deliberate steps. One by one, he navigates the obstacles. Each decision, grounded in calm and clarity, brings him closer to the summit. Reaching the top is not just a physical victory. It is proof of emotional mastery, confident decision-making, and resilience under pressure. That same skill is available to you in any area of life. Another essential habit of winners is reflection. At the end of each day, they review their actions, their emotions, and their decisions. They ask what worked, what didn't, where did I surrender to fear or distraction, and then they apply the insights tomorrow. This continuous loop of reflection, adjustment, and action creates unstoppable growth. Imagine sharpening a sword. Each stroke on the whetstone refines the edge, removes imperfections, and strengthens its capacity. Your mind and character are sharpened in exactly the same way through reflection and learning. Now, focus on alignment. Winners align emotions, thoughts, and actions with their highest vision. When all three work together, the mind becomes a machine of clarity, purpose, and momentum. Misalignment, however, creates friction, doubt, and wasted energy. Imagine rowing a boat where each oar moves in a different direction. Progress is slow, exhausting, and frustrating. Now imagine each oar moving in perfect synchrony, guided by a clear destination. The water glides smoothly, swiftly, powerfully. Your mind and life operate in the same way when alignment is achieved. Finally, anchor this part with an affirmation and visualization. Speak slowly and feel every word. I master my emotions. I act with clarity and courage. I make decisions confidently. Challenges refine me. Setbacks guide me. I align my thoughts, feelings, and actions with my highest vision. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. Visualize yourself standing tall, calm, and powerful, surrounded by a world of endless possibilities. Your emotions no longer control you, they empower you. Your decisions no longer feel uncertain, they propel you forward. You are no longer reactive, you are unstoppable. Take a deep breath. Feel it. Absorb it. Know that the mastery of your emotions, the clarity of your decisions, and the confidence in your actions are now part of your daily practice. Every day, every choice, every thought reinforces this transformation. The path is yours. The power is yours. The life you are capable of living begins in the mind, and you are now fully equipped to think, act, and live like a winner. Imagine waking up before the world stirs, the morning light spilling softly through your window, and the quiet hum of possibility surrounding you. Most people wake to chaos, to notifications, to scattered thoughts, reacting before they even think. Winners, however, treat the start of their day as sacred. They know that the routines, habits, and rituals they cultivate in the quiet moments determine the trajectory of the entire day and ultimately, the course of their lives. Take a moment and imagine your day unfolding, not as a series of random events, but as a carefully orchestrated sequence where every action, every thought, every choice builds toward your highest vision. This is the power of deliberate habit. Most people underestimate it. They focus on grand gestures, dramatic efforts, or fleeting inspiration. Winners, however, focus on consistency. They understand that greatness is forged in small, repeated actions performed over time. Think of a bamboo tree. For years, it appears as if nothing is happening. Its roots grow deep underground, invisible, unnoticed. Then, seemingly overnight, it shoots upward, growing meters in mere weeks. The difference is not sudden luck. It is the cumulative result of patient, consistent nurturing. Your habits work the same way. Each morning ritual, each deliberate thought, each disciplined action is a root growing deep into your subconscious, eventually producing the visible growth of success, confidence, and mastery. Let's visualize this. Imagine yourself performing a simple morning habit, perhaps journaling, meditating, or setting intentions. At first, it may seem trivial, insignificant, or even boring. But with every repetition, neural pathways strengthen. Clarity emerges. Focus sharpens. Emotional resilience grows. Small, invisible routines accumulate into unstoppable momentum. Winners understand this principle. They invest in the invisible work that produces visible results. Now, consider your mental environment. What you feed your mind daily shapes your actions, your perspective, and ultimately, your destiny. Most people allow random information, social media noise, and external opinions to dictate their thinking. Winners, however, curate their inputs with intention. They read, listen, and observe only what strengthens, educates, and inspires. Imagine your mind as a garden again. Each book, each podcast, each conversation is a seed. Choose carefully which seeds to plant. The weeds of distraction, negativity, and comparison will not dominate if you cultivate consciously. Storytime. There was a man who wanted to become a top performer in his field. At first, his days were chaotic, unstructured, and filled with random efforts. He struggled, doubted himself, and almost gave up. Then he decided to create small, consistent habits, daily learning, focused work blocks, reflection at night, and morning visualization. Within months, his performance skyrocketed. The change wasn't dramatic in a single day. It was almost invisible at first. But over time, the accumulation of disciplined actions created unstoppable momentum. Habits also shape emotional and mental resilience. When stress arises, winners respond with calm efficiency because their routines have anchored their minds. They have practiced discipline when nothing demanded it, so when everything demands it, they do not falter. Imagine a ship anchored in a storm. The waves crash, the winds howl, yet the ship does not drift. Its anchor, unseen beneath the surface, provides stability. Your routines and habits are that anchor, holding your mind steady in the chaos of life. Now, let's explore the concept of keystone habits. These are small but powerful habits that influence every other aspect of life. Waking up early, reading, journaling, exercising, planning your day. These keystone habits create a ripple effect, improving productivity, focus, and confidence across multiple areas. Winners identify these habits, commit to them daily, and protect them fiercely. Even if everything else falls apart, these habits remain intact, guiding them toward their vision. Think of a story about a writer. She committed to writing 500 words every morning, without fail. Sometimes it was inspired, sometimes it was painful, sometimes it felt meaningless. But this small keystone habit created a domino effect. Her thinking became clearer, her discipline strengthened, her creativity expanded, and eventually, she produced a novel that transformed her career. The habit itself was the invisible engine behind her success. Daily rituals also influence emotional states. Consider meditation, mindfulness, or deliberate reflection. Winners do not leave their mood to chance. They shape it proactively. When frustration rises, they pause, breathe, and realign with their vision. When doubt appears, they anchor themselves in previous victories and affirmations. These subtle practices build mental fortitude, turning the mind into a calm, focused, and strategic force. Now, visualize your ideal morning, midday, and evening routines. See each step clearly. Notice how your actions, thoughts, and emotions align with your highest self. Feel the energy, the clarity, and the momentum that flows from consistency. This is the invisible power of disciplined routines. These small, repeated actions are the engine of greatness. Another story, a young athlete trained daily, not just in the gym, but in nutrition, visualization, rest, and reflection. While others sought shortcuts, he committed to the process. He did not notice the change day by day, but months later, his strength, focus, and endurance far surpassed everyone else's. Winners understand that mastery is often invisible until it becomes undeniable. Habits are also a tool for overcoming resistance. Motivation fluctuates, inspiration fades, circumstances shift, but habits persist. Imagine a wheel rolling down a slope. Momentum keeps it moving even when effort wanes. Your daily habits create that momentum. They reduce reliance on fleeting feelings and external conditions, making success inevitable. Finally, let's anchor this part with affirmation and visualization. Speak slowly and feel it deeply. I cultivate powerful daily habits. My routines anchor my mind and energize my actions. Small, consistent efforts create unstoppable momentum. I invest in invisible work that produces visible results. My habits align with my vision, my purpose, and my potential. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. Visualize yourself performing these rituals effortlessly, morning, noon, and night. Feel the sense of structure, calm, and unstoppable momentum. See yourself moving through life with clarity, resilience, and strength. Your daily habits are your invisible engine, powering your growth, focus, and success. You are no longer drifting. You are accelerating. You are no longer reactive. You are intentional. You are no longer waiting. You are creating. Take a deep breath. Absorb this. Let it settle into your subconscious. Your mind, your actions, and your life are now aligned with the principles of winners. And with each passing day, your consistency compounds, transforming invisible effort into undeniable results. Repeat once more. I cultivate powerful daily habits. I act with intention. I build momentum through consistency. My routines shape my mind, body, and life. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing in the middle of a dense forest. The trees tower above you. The canopy blocks much of the sunlight, and the path ahead is unclear. You can hear the rustling of leaves, the distant sound of water, the faint whispers of unseen creatures. Most would feel fear, hesitation, uncertainty. Most would look for the easiest path or turn back entirely. But winners, they step forward anyway. They see the forest not as a prison, but as a challenge, an opportunity to navigate, to explore, to master. Life will place forests, storms, and mountains in your path, but your response determines whether you get lost or thrive. Adversity is inevitable. No one escapes it. But what separates those who succeed from those who falter is mindset. The same challenge that crushes one person strengthens another. The same setback that creates despair in some becomes fuel, insight, and clarity for those who think like winners. Every obstacle carries hidden lessons, untapped energy, and a chance to rise higher than before. Imagine a sculptor confronted with a block of stone marred by imperfections. A novice might see only flaws and give up. A master sees potential. They understand that every imperfection can be used creatively, shaping the final masterpiece in ways impossible to achieve otherwise. Adversity works the same way in your life. Every challenge is raw material. Every obstacle is a block to shape, to refine, to transform. Winners are masters of this process. They don't avoid difficulty, they use it. Take a deep breath and feel the weight of a challenge you currently face. Notice the tension, the frustration, the doubt. Now imagine stepping back mentally, observing it objectively, and asking, what can this teach me? How can I grow through this? Shift the perspective. Transform the emotion. See the obstacle as a teacher rather than a threat. This shift is subtle, but profound. It is the mental pivot that turns struggle into strength, chaos into clarity, and challenge into opportunity. Consider the story of a runner preparing for a marathon. During training, he faced injuries, extreme fatigue, and self-doubt. Most would have quit, but he reframed each setback as feedback. Pain taught him endurance. Fatigue trained his persistence. Doubt forced him to visualize his goal more clearly. Each obstacle became a stepping stone. On race day, the same challenges that once intimidated him became familiar companions, guiding him forward rather than holding him back. Winners internalize this principle. Adversity is not an enemy. It is part of the journey, part of the forge that strengthens body, mind, and spirit. Now, let's explore mental preparation under pressure. Picture a tightrope stretched high above the ground. Below, the drop seems endless, the wind gusts unpredictably, and the stakes are terrifying. Most would freeze, paralyzed by fear. A winner, however, focuses solely on the line, the balance, and the next step. They control their attention, regulate their breathing, and trust their preparation. Pressure is inevitable, but panic is optional. Mental mastery under pressure is not about eliminating fear. It is about managing it, harnessing it, and channeling it into deliberate action. Imagine your life as a series of tightropes, each one presenting risk, uncertainty, and fear. The same strategies apply. Focus your attention. Control your response. Trust your preparation. Move deliberately, step by step. The obstacles do not vanish, but your ability to navigate them grows stronger with every choice, every action, and every moment of practice. Winners are not fearless. They are skilled in courage, resilience, and clarity under pressure. Consider another story. A young entrepreneur launched a company, only to face repeated setbacks, failed launches, critical mistakes, and harsh criticism. Each obstacle was painful, each day a test, but she refused to surrender. She reflected, adapted, and refined her approach. Over time, the failures themselves became a blueprint for success. When others saw only defeat, she saw insight. When others gave up, she persisted. Her resilience under pressure transformed adversity into achievement. Let's now focus on a practical mental exercise. Close your eyes and imagine a specific challenge or pressure point in your life. Visualize it clearly. Notice the emotional response it evokes. Now, imagine stepping outside yourself as an observer. Analyze the situation, not with judgment, but with curiosity and strategy. Identify at least one actionable step you can take. Imagine yourself executing that step with confidence. Feel the relief, the momentum, and the sense of control as you transform fear into action. Repeat this exercise daily. It strengthens the mind to navigate adversity with precision and courage. Another key to transforming obstacles is reframing failure. Most people fear it, avoid it, or let it define them. Winners, however, see failure as information. Each failure carries insight, highlighting what works, what doesn't, and what must change. Think of it like refining a recipe. The first attempts may be imperfect, even disappointing. But each attempt teaches, adjusts, and brings you closer to mastery. Life works the same way. Winners collect the data and failure, then use it to create refined, stronger, and smarter strategies. Take a deep breath and reflect on a past failure. Instead of dwelling on regret, ask, what lesson did I learn? How did this make me stronger? How can I use this experience to succeed in the future? Feel the shift in perspective. Feel the empowerment that comes from turning what once limited you into a tool that now propels you forward. This is the essence of thinking like a winner, the ability to transform obstacles into opportunities, fear into fuel, and adversity into growth. Consider the ripple effect of small victories under adversity. Each time you confront a challenge and persist, even slightly, your confidence strengthens. Momentum builds. Your mind begins to anticipate success rather than fear failure. Imagine pushing a boulder up a hill. The first few inches are hardest, but once it begins moving steadily, the process becomes smoother, more controllable. Each obstacle you overcome compounds, shaping resilience, reinforcing belief, and training the mind to act decisively under pressure. Finally, anchor this part with affirmation and visualization. Speak these words slowly and feel them resonate. I embrace adversity. I transform obstacles into opportunities. I remain calm, clear, and deliberate under pressure. Every challenge strengthens me. Every failure teaches me. I trust my preparation, my focus, and my strength. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. Visualize yourself walking confidently through your metaphorical forest. The trees that once blocked your path now guide your journey. The shadows that once intimidated you now reveal hidden routes. You move with clarity, courage, and unstoppable momentum. Your mind has become a compass, your emotions a tool, and your focus an engine. Obstacles are no longer threats. They are steps, lessons, and pathways toward mastery. Take a deep breath. Let it settle. Know that adversity will always arise, but your response will define your journey. Your ability to transform pressure into power, fear into action, and obstacles into growth is now within you. Each day, with each challenge, your mastery deepens. You are becoming unstoppable. Repeat once more, I embrace adversity. I transform obstacles into opportunities. I act with clarity and courage. I learn from failure. Welcome. This isn't just another motivational talk. This is your personal guide, your blueprint for transforming the way you think, the way you act, and the life you attract. In the next hour, you will learn not just to think positively, but to think like a winner. You will discover mental habits, daily practices, and inner shifts that separate those who achieve their dreams from those who watch from the sidelines. So take a deep breath. Imagine stepping into a version of yourself, stronger, wiser, fearless. This journey begins now. I learn from failure. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. Imagine standing on the summit of a mountain, the wind brushing against your face, the sun spilling gold across the horizon, and the world stretching infinitely below. Every step, every struggle, every moment of doubt, fear, and challenge has led you here. This summit is not a destination. It is a reflection of transformation. It represents everything you have learned, cultivated, and become. The mindset of a winner is no longer theoretical. It is alive within you. It guides your thoughts, shapes your actions, and transforms every challenge into an opportunity. The most powerful insight you must carry forward is this: winners do not separate their mindset from their life. Thinking like a winner is not a practice you do sometimes. It is who you are. Your thoughts, habits, emotions, and actions all converge to create a consistent, unstoppable force. Imagine a river flowing steadily toward the ocean. The current never stops. The water never hesitates. Your life can flow with the same precision and purpose when your inner world is aligned with your vision, values, and goals. Take a moment to reflect. What does it mean to you to live consistently as a winner? It means approaching every decision, every challenge, and every opportunity with clarity, confidence, and deliberate action. It means embracing failure as feedback, fear as a guide, and obstacles as stepping stones. It means structuring your days with habits and rituals that reinforce growth and momentum. It means mastering your emotions so that even in chaos, you remain calm, focused, and strategic. This is not lofty theory. It is practical, actionable, and available to you right now. Think back to the stories we have explored. The entrepreneur who transformed failure into insight. The athlete who used each setback to fuel resilience. The writer whose small daily actions accumulated into a masterpiece. The mountaineer who navigated storms with deliberate steps. Every story demonstrates the same principle. Transformation is built through alignment, repetition, and conscious choice. Your journey mirrors this. Every thought you master, every habit you cultivate, every fear you confront is a building block in the architecture of your success. Now, let's integrate the lessons from the previous parts into a single, coherent framework for daily life. Begin with clarity. Know exactly what you want, why you want it, and what your vision looks like. See it in your mind's eye with vivid detail. Let it become a mental blueprint, a compass guiding every action. Next is focus. Direct your attention like sunlight through a magnifying glass. Prioritize what truly matters. Let distractions pass without derailing you. Train your mind to concentrate on the tasks and thoughts that align with your vision. Then comes action. Even small steps, repeated consistently, generate unstoppable momentum. Act deliberately. Act daily. Act with confidence that each effort compounds toward your goals. Remember the snowball effect. Momentum builds over time, transforming minor efforts into monumental results. Follow this with emotional mastery. Feel fully, but do not surrender to impulses. Harness fear, anger, and frustration as fuel for growth. Respond strategically, not reactively. Your mind, once disciplined, becomes your strongest ally in navigating life's challenges. Next, habits and rituals. Design your day to reinforce growth. Morning rituals, deliberate practice, reflection at night. All create invisible engines powering your transformation. Small, consistent routines compound into extraordinary results. Finally, resilience under adversity. Obstacles will arise, fear will emerge, and failure will test you. Meet each challenge with calm, clarity, and determination. Transform adversity into opportunity. Every obstacle is raw material for mastery. Every difficulty a chance to refine your skills, courage, and mindset. Now, visualize yourself living these principles in your daily life. Wake up with purpose. Approach your work, relationships, and challenges with focus. React with calm and clarity under pressure. Make decisions confidently. Harness every setback as a lesson. Let small victories accumulate. Let your habits shape your reality. Feel unstoppable. This is not imagination. It is a mental rehearsal, a training ground for your future self. Consider the metaphor of a master painter once more. The canvas may be blank, daunting, or full of challenges, but each deliberate brushstroke transforms it. At first, progress seems slow, even invisible. But over time, with patience, consistency, and intention, a masterpiece emerges. Your life, guided by the principles we have explored, is your canvas. Each thought, action, and habit is a brushstroke. And as you integrate these practices, your life becomes a work of art, a reflection of mastery, focus, and victory. Let's anchor this transformation with affirmation. Speak slowly, feeling each word resonate through your being. I live aligned with my vision. My thoughts, actions, and emotions create unstoppable momentum. I act with clarity, confidence, and purpose. I embrace challenges and transform them into growth. My habits and routines shape my success. I think like a winner. I live like a winner. I am the architect of my life. I am unstoppable. Visualize yourself at the summit again. The journey was not easy. Storms came, doubts arose, fear threatened, and obstacles appeared. Yet, here you stand, calm, confident, and fully empowered. Every step you took, every choice you made, every moment of discipline brought you here. And the beauty of this summit is that it is not the end, it is a vantage point. From here, you see the endless possibilities ahead, the infinite paths you can take, and the life you can continue to build with intention and mastery. Feel this moment deeply. Let it settle into your subconscious. Know that transformation is complete, not because life is perfect, but because your mind is mastered, your habits are strong, your emotions are disciplined, and your actions are deliberate. Winners are not defined by circumstances. They are defined by how they think, act, and persist. And now, you carry this power within you. As this journey comes to a close, carry this final thought. Life is not about avoiding challenges, chasing fleeting motivation, or waiting for perfect conditions. Life is about mastering your mind, cultivating consistent habits, responding with clarity, and embracing the process. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. You have the mindset. Every day, You have the opportunity to act like a winner, think like a winner, and live like a winner. Take a deep breath. Feel it. Let it integrate. You are not the same person who began this journey. You are stronger, wiser, focused, and fully capable. Your mind is your greatest asset, and you now wield it with precision, courage, and unstoppable momentum. Repeat one final time. I think like a winner. I act like a winner. I live like a winner. I am unstoppable. And as you move forward, remember this. The journey continues, but the transformation is eternal. Every thought, every choice, every action from this moment on is a step toward mastery, purpose, and victory. You are not just imagining success, you are living it. You are the architect of your life. You are unstoppable,